first time I'll be having you on my podcast, which is really it's a big deal for me because you have no idea. In fact, I know you know, but that's fine. So first off, you have to do it like a self introduction. It's really simple, your name and what you do.
My name is Izuna Calvin DK. Um, but I'm a site reliability engineer. Um, working with Xbox, and I stay in Silver Spring, Maryland, USA.
So let's throw it back a bit. Because the main focus of today's discussion is about career transitioning, and you are like one person that I know. Maybe you've tested all the careers in the world that I have no idea about. So I mean, like, because when I was thinking about it, I said no other person fits this description except you, because bro, you have walked through the length and breadth of careers in life. So let's get started. So, but we're going to start from the beginning, because I know that it was in third year of um uh college
First semester,
period, like undergraduate
yeah,
studies.
first semester, third year.
Was it for semester
Yeah.
third year that you disappeared from the class, and then we were all looking for you? It took a while. We started asking questions, and voila, Izuna is no longer in the country. Is that how it works? And then he went off.
Ah,
So, well, like, it was crazy that day, that period. People were like asking questions. Where is this guy? And then when you left, people didn't really notice because, of course, you know why.
which
You know,
is
they didn't notice at the moment, except
that's how I like it to be. Like, I don't want people noticing everything. So in and out is
you
yeah,
know.
it's easier.
I mean, yeah, it was just a surreptitious like stepping out that you did that time, and it was good. But one thing we heard was that you left law, like you studied law from first year, second year to third year, and you abandoned law and went to nursing.
Not
So
abandon.
I know that
Yeah.
at the time it was crazy. Do you know why? Because it's not normal for people to just like switch from one area of career to another. For instance, I'm sure you did like you all through your high school. You did all the arts courses like the literature, the English, the government, the history, and all the stuff. You didn't probably do chemistry. You didn't do physics.
Oh, a
Maybe
little
like
bit
in your penultimate
SS1.
years.
Yeah, SS1.
I mean, SS1 is just like SS1 is like general,
Yeah.
like that's like the general. Everyone
I
did
was
it,
terrible. I was
but
terrible at them.
like focusing on that as a career path wasn't there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely not.
So how was it for you? How did you abandon this law at first to move to nursing? Also, was it because it was something that you needed to do to get by at the time, or it was just like is the end thing? Everyone was doing nursing, to because it was something at the time that was really very lucrative. Even now it is, but at the time it was more.
Yeah.
So what was the experience for you? Why did you have to make that decision at the
Um,
time?
I mean, that's gonna be like a family story at this point. But so
Yeah, I don't. Please tell it to us. We want to know everything.
so leaving Nigeria, right? I won the DV lottery, and it was like, okay, the next thing is to go for an interview. So I wasn't sure whether I was gonna, you know, be allowed to come over or not, because they write it there that this does not mean that you're guaranteed an entry into the United States. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did the interview. Everything worked out. I told people that were close to me that yeah, I'm probably gonna be going anytime from now. Um, the plan was to go back and forth. So come to the US, get my green card, because it took like 2 weeks after I got in, I think, to get my green card.
Yes.
So the plan was,
Okay.
and then for the green card, when you get it, you can be outside the US for 6 months, for more than 6 months.
Yeah.
So I was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be going back and forth. My dad wanted me to finish the law thing. Um, but my mom here was, I mean, she was alone here, and man, life was rough at that point. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay back and kind of help out here instead of going back and forth. Plus, we didn't really have a lot of money at that point. Um, so it was a lot of arguments back and forth with my dad, but at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay here. There was something interesting that I did was I didn't tell them I wasn't coming back until until I got my green card, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Because if I told them earlier, then I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I came here and they were like, the thing you have to do here is, nursing because you're African and, with accent and all that. So most times the only jobs you're gonna get is nursing because when people are in pain, they don't care.
Okay, this is new.
So
Wow.
I just want to get the education. So registered. I actually went to a CNA school at first before I went to college
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah, so I went to the CNA school. I was really good at the thing, and the woman wanted me to work for her for a while, so I did work for her for a
Yeah.
bit, and yeah, after that I had to start college. So I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm starting college, and first semester.
And how long was that for? How long did you do the senior thing?
Um, CNA is usually like a month, almost 2 months. Yeah, so,
Okay.
but I worked for her for maybe 3 months or four, I can't remember. But I know I started school around September-ish. But I came
Okay.
here February 2013 and I started school around September. Yeah, in school, I think my first semester I had to. I was terrible when it comes to science, right? Because my English placement was like you have to do like a test for them to know the classes, where
Yeah.
to place you. So my English was pretty good, but the math I had to start from like the lowest level of math. So by
That was
lowest,
the one I would also start from the underground.
yeah, lowest level was like plus and minus, division and all that. So, but I took it
Yeah.
seriously. I think I had biology as well in my first semester because it was nursing prerequisites. That was the major.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in biology, I did really well. I got an A, and but I was pretty much sleeping in the library because I'm like, yeah, this is the only thing that I can do. I was kind of playing soccer as
That's
well.
the life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried to play soccer,
Yeah.
but at some point I was like, you know what? If I was studying law, I probably would have continued playing soccer and see if anything would work out there. But I was like, yeah, I need to study twice as hard, because it's science
Right.
now and it's new to me. So with the biology grade, I think it kind of boosted my confidence. So I kept on that path, and at some point I had to get a job. Got a job in a nursing home. It was rough, man. It was
Man,
rough.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
night shift. So yeah, you go to work, you come back. Sometimes it's like just go to work, come back, take a shower, grab my backpack, and I'm off to school. So I was doing that for a while. The grades started dropping. At that point, I started doing
Oh
like,
my
yeah,
god.
microbiology, chemistry, the more
Mm-hmm.
difficult courses, because I was doing like 4 or 5 courses every semester, um, to also be getting financial aid, because yeah, I needed
Right.
the grant. I kept going until around I got fired from the nursing home, and then
Why did you get fired, please?
well, so there was this.
What
It
did you
was
do?
almost like a blizzard that we had, right? It was a lot of snow that night, and
Yeah.
I had to call because I went to drive my car. My car wasn't moving, like there was no traction. So I called them. As soon as I called, the lady was like, "Ah, not another person." So, so I was like, "Yeah, my car is not moving. I can make it. If you guys can, if you want to bring a bus or something that'll drive me to work, I don't mind. But yeah, I can't make it." I even spoke with there was a cab guy that was living downstairs. I spoke with him. He was like, he just managed to get back, that
Yeah.
there's no way he's going out there. So I think I worked there for another 2 weeks. And one day they called me into the office and were like, "Yeah, you're no longer with us. This, that." And I was like, "Okay, thank you very much."
I think I remember. Like I remember that period. I think I chatted you up some time ago. That period, and you told me that you lost your job. I felt so bad for you, but I didn't really understand what you meant by it, because you can imagine someone getting fired from their job is not a good thing, right? And I felt so bad that day, but then you didn't tell me the reason anyway.
Yeah,
I didn't even understand the kind of job you were doing also.
yeah.
So
But after
I
that,
remember.
I worked in the hospital, Adventist. So I worked there for a bit. I was the same CNA stuff and going to school.
Yeah.
Um, but when I was working, I think at the point I was working there, at that point I was taking like stuff like statistics, um, AMP2. So AMP1, yeah, anatomy and physiology one was another thing that I guess I'm good when it comes to biology. Maybe not so much chemistry and physics, but yeah, I think the biology was.
Yeah. Also, you know that biology is like very compulsory for everybody, right? So it was compulsory for everybody. So we had to do it in SS1, 2, and 3. So it wasn't like optional for you to
Yeah,
choose. So
yeah.
that's quite
I
understandable
wouldn't
if you love it more
I
than every
would
other.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say I was good when I was in secondary school though. When I was in secondary school, it was like government, literature, English,
Yeah.
commerce.
Those were
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, at that point, I was, you know, I know I was in class. We're doing statistics, and um, there's this TI-84 calculator that people needed to get,
Yeah.
and there was something we were trying to do, but I only had the TI-83, and I was like, okay, I don't think I have enough money to get another calculator. So I started looking online to see if there was a way that I could, hack the calculator to do what I was
Yeah.
trying to do that other people were doing. And at the end of the day, it worked. Somebody was like, "Yeah, you're pretty good with computers. You know, you might want to do IT." I'm like, I'm just trying to finish this nursing thing, start working, start making more money. And
Wait. At that point, someone started feeding you with the idea of getting into tech.
well, because she saw me do what I did, right? Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so she was like, "Yeah, it might be good for me." And I was an I was an Android lover, still an Android lover, even though I'm all Apple now. But yeah, those days, like, yeah, I was doing a lot on my phone as well. So I mean, she just said it in passing, kind of. Um, And then when I was at work, there was something else that I did, and there was another comment about the IT thing. Now when I was in Nigeria, I was already like playing with computers. Not to
Mm-hmm.
a high level, but yeah, I was playing with computers. Let's just call it that. So I was like,
Yeah.
because the I feel like if Nigeria was like here, I probably would have been in, studied
Mm-hmm.
computer science in Nigeria. But in Nigeria, it's so much maths involved in the whole computer science thing.
Right.
I'm scared. Yeah, I'm not good with numbers, so um, I left that. But towards my final semester, I was about to get 60 credits because 60 credits for associates. I just went to
Yeah.
the office. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna change my major. And yeah, that's how I changed my major to computer science. And I had to take like I think a couple or three more classes to graduate. Honestly, like I didn't even I didn't take my certificate like there with it. I don't even. Yeah.
Hold on, wait, wait. So all the while you were doing this nursing thing, like, and also working, did you ever regret like dumping the law you were doing before you came here? Did you ever get to that point where you had to say, oh, if I had known, I wouldn't have actually agreed to stay back to do this thing. I would have just gone back to Nigeria to finish my law degree and then probably come back to do whatever.
Like missing law?
Yeah.
Nah,
So
nah.
so the law thing was just for you to pass time in school that time. So it wasn't even your passion. It wasn't even part of
I
the.
mean,
What was it for you?
my dad is a lawyer, my mom is a lawyer. I have uncles that are
Okay,
lawyers. My elder
I
brother
understand what
is a
happened.
lawyer.
I understand what
So
happened.
yeah, so it's like a law family,
Yeah.
and every like you're expected to be a lawyer,
Right. That
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it was just like go with the flow kind of thing,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
and
That makes sense.
yeah,
So you decide. So
yeah,
when you
I don't.
switched to your from nursing to tech, and obviously it wasn't hard for you to do because you also needed the same courses you took for nursing. Is it also the same thing you needed for to qualify for the computer science?
Yeah, some of the credits, because I switched to, so I stopped getting financial aid and I switched to another college. Well, it's like
Okay.
supposed to be an online college. It's University of Maryland, but like their online
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
And went through all the hassle, switched. It was supposed to be networking and cybersecurity, I think. That was the major
Mm-hmm.
that I got. Um, so I started the program. It was like with two classes. So A plus, network plus. I think it was just both of them I started with because at that point, like this was student loan, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to take as much loan, and
Yeah.
I was, I was going through the lab
Mm-hmm.
one day for A plus, and
Mm-hmm.
they were teaching about building a computer. Now, one thing I'll say is I watch a lot of tech videos on YouTube. Like YouTube is like 70 to 80% of my media consumption.
Mm.
So I watch a lot of videos on like, how to build a PC and just random tech videos. Then if any phone was coming out, I knew the phone, I knew the specs, laptops, all
Mm.
that. But yeah, so I was doing the lab and they they were teaching us how to build a computer. Well, not they were teaching us. It's just a lab. You do it on your own. It's self-paced. Um,
Right.
and In the lab, it was like, oh, drag and drop, drag the RAM from this place into this place, drag the CPU from this place into this place. I did that for a bit, and then I was like, you know what? I know how to build a computer. Like, this is not gonna teach me how to build a computer, and this is not even the proper way to learn how to build a computer. So I just kind of left the program there because I'm like, yeah, the quality of education for the money that I'm paying is just not worth it. And I was taking student loan
Mm.
at this point. So yeah, I left the program, and then it's like, oof, okay, what am I gonna do next? So yeah, it was rough at that point because
I can imagine.
yeah, I was in a relationship then, and I had to tell the person like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out my life. So
I need to find myself first before I find any other person.
you know that it gets. I guess I don't know if it happens to everybody, but as a man, it gets to a point where you're like, okay, there has to be a drastic change in my life to get
Right.
something, yeah, that I'm looking for. So yeah, I told her, she understood, and yeah, we started looking. I have my friend, my best friend. I was in Philippines for his wedding in
Yeah.
January. So
Yeah. 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 Okay.
he was like, oh, that he has someone that teaches Oracle. Um, I was like, okay, let's work with that. Because if we learn Oracle in like three to 6 months, get a job,
Mm.
you might
Mm-hmm.
start with 80, 90K, because that's how they market it. So we're like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because at that point it was all about, yeah, I needed to start making more money because yeah, the my my bills were not much. So what I was doing at that point was just work enough to pay my bills, and then the rest
Yeah.
is just me studying. So I did the Oracle. I can't remember how long it took, maybe 3 2 3 months. But the way the man was teaching the Oracle, he would just write, SQL commands on the board, and then
Mm-hmm.
we type it in, and then sometimes it's like, oh, so what do you understand that this command is doing? I was doing well in the class. Well, I did really well in the class from what he taught, and I had an interview. I started doing interviews after the class. I had an interview with Oracle. They were in Austin, Texas,
Yeah.
and
No,
after
wait.
that
Like job
interview,
interviews.
yeah, 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 job interview, yeah, to
Oh
be
wow.
an Oracle database administrator. So after the interview, that was when I realized that the man didn't teach us enough.
The more you look, the
'Cause
less you saw.
I got I got textbooks. I went to the thrift store because I used to shop a lot at the thrift store. In fact, that
Yeah.
was like I actually worked there as well. So I worked
Oh,
at the
you
thrift
did.
store while I was going to school. Um, got books from there. I tried to learn the sequel. Um, one day I was just like, it's too much. This
I
is
can
yeah,
imagine.
it's too much. It's too much that I didn't learn to cover. And there was a day I went to my friend to a wedding. His uncle's No, it's
Mm.
not a wedding. It's a birthday. I think the uncle's daughter. They were celebrating a birthday for her, and he invited me. So we went there, and the man's wife was telling my friend, uh, "Come, let my husband teach you this thing."
Mm.
And I know he had said that the man teaches before. And I was
Yeah.
like, because at that point I've tried the Oracle thing. I'm like, okay, this is not gonna work. I need something else. I need to pivot. And I started bugging him because I think they wanted him to do it before, but he wasn't really interested.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, let's try this one. At least we've tried, Oracle, and in
Mm-hmm.
Oracle we kind of knew a bit of Linux. So the man teaches Linux administration. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's try this one. And we went there. The man was like, oh, it's you. You brought this boy that I've been trying to teach this thing all this while. So he was like, yeah, for that he was gonna give me a discount. Like he gave me a big discount for the class. Um,
Oh.
and as
And it
somebody
was
that they give,
a one-on-one class.
so it was in person. He had he had an office. So we go in person. I think we were
Yeah.
about maybe 20-25.
Okay.
We were going for the evening session, and then after that, go back home. Practice, do meetings. Towards the end of the class, I think we were only like 6 or 7 that finished the class. But yeah, we all of us that finished the class pretty much got jobs. I think gradually, I think it was myself and it was another guy from Ghana. Who were almost like at the top of the class. Um, so after that, I was still like going to the library. I had a big textbook, like Red Hat textbook, and
Yeah.
what I'll do is I work in the morning for a few hours, then I would go to the library. Maybe I try to cover one to three topics each day, depending on
Mm-hmm.
how, I guess, the chapter, how short the chapter
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
So, and as I was studying, I was modifying my resume. There was another person in our class. The guy got a job, and I was like,
I'm
this
seeing
this
him.
person asked me questions.
Exactly.
you know. So I'm like a lot of the things that we had to explain further. I was explaining to this for this person to understand. So if he got a job, I can get a job. That's how I
Can get a
started.
job.
Like, yeah, I started applying. It was rough at first because I'm not really good with I'm not good at talking to people, and
Yeah.
my problem solving skills. I like to see the problem. So if you're like telling me the problem in interviews, it's more like they're telling you something. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so what would you do if so and so?
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes I could answer the questions, and it might get one that I can't really answer. And once I can't answer one, it kind of messes up the whole reading for
Right.
me. So there was one I did. There was an interview I did in Virginia, and they were like, the recruiter was like, yeah, they called back, they really liked you. So we're just waiting for the offer letter. 1 week, 2 weeks. I'm like, what's
Okay.
up? Where's the offer letter? And then and then she was like, oh, they went with someone else.
More qualified. They will always say
I,
that.
I I don't know if it's more qualified, but they went. That was supposed to be automation engineer. That was the role.
Okay.
I I remember it
Okay.
was like Ansible and stuff. Yeah, I had to write on the board for that interview.
Hmm. Wow.
There, there was before that interview. There was an interview that I did. It took 3 hours, and that man
Three
had
hours?
yeah. It was like a phone
Man.
interview. The man that was interviewing me, he had been working with Linux since. I think he said 91 or 92, like before
Okay.
I was born.
Before you
He's
were
been
born.
working with Linux. So the man pretty much was, at the end of the interview, he was teaching me. So it wasn't much of an interview
It was
because,
more like a lecture.
yeah, it was terrible, man. It was bad. Yeah, but kept going, kept studying, and I think someday I was sleeping and um I got a call from a recruiter, and it was where I worked. They were like, "Oh, can we set up a phone interview?" I was like, "Sure." So we, you know, spoke on the phone. Everything was good, and they were like, "Oh, how soon can you come in?" I was like, "Oh, I can so and so." So I ended up going in, like, I think I went in when it was around Thanksgiving time, so the office was quite
Yeah.
empty. But
Yeah.
yeah, we did the interview. The good thing about this interview is there was just a TV on the wall, and they gave me keyboard and were like asking me questions. Oh, where would you find this? How would you fix this? I was
Mm.
actually typing them out or working on them as they were asking the
Yeah.
questions. So
Yeah.
that was like the best kind of interview for me. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and I got the job. You know, good pay,
So at
decent
what
pay.
point when you dropped out of nursing and you had already made up your mind to go into tech, what was it for your parents? Like, what was their response? Because I mean, based on what you said before, they had back and forth with your law, your living law, and everything, and now you want to abandon nursing for tech.
Well,
So what was it for them?
well, my dad had an issue with me leaving law. I think I have similar traits that he has in terms of being rigid sometimes or most times. So, so yeah, we had a fight about me leaving law. There was a time we didn't speak to each other for like maybe 2 years because
No
of
way.
that. Yeah.
No way. See, do you know
But
why I think see, just so you will know how important it is for this man. I'm sure he must have envisaged you being the lawyer that he's always wanted, having that son. See, bro, okay, few days ago we had like call to bar in Nigeria, right? And you could
mhm.
see videos of parents that are lawyers, you know, going for their children's call to bar, and it is like the best thing ever in life. And then they would even dress,
Some would
the
say,
whole lawyer thing, and then do this the photo shoots. So imagine what this one must have been says for you.
well, I mean, we did a
You
photo
broke his
shoot
heart. You broke his
for
heart. You
my
broke his heart.
for my matriculation. We did a photo shoot, so I think that was decent.
Bro, that was
But
like you gave him the taste of what he wanted to have, like a full bowl of, but he
I mean, I was
just
I was
you
thinking
know
ahead. I was thinking ahead. That's really what it was because my mom was struggling here, like really struggling. So I'm like, if I go back there, like, what am I gonna do? Just go to school, come back? Sure, there was no money at that point. So some people didn't even know how we were living. But you live in a big
yeah,
house and people don't know what's going on.
right. That's
So
true.
yeah, at that,
That's
at
true.
that point things were different. So I was like, there's a reason I'm here. So, and it's not to go back. I've still not been back. I've still not been back, but I'm gonna
Bro, it's
be.
been over 10 years, man. So
I'm
then,
I'm
at what
gonna.
point did your dad start, like, warming up towards you in terms of, I mean, accepting the fact that this is how it is now? I can't really change anything.
Well, I told him that I was doing something IT related,
Yeah.
but I had to use the buzzword engineering,
Just so
right?
just so that he'll be fine. Because if you just say tech, bro.
Well, Actually,
You say you're a lost
actually,
cause.
that was when I switched my major, or
Yeah.
when I started in University of Maryland. So I told him that, yeah, because it was cybersecurity and network engineering. I think that was the major. I can't remember. Um,
Okay.
so it was like, you know what, engineering is not bad. You know the way Nigerians love medicine, engineering. So he was like,
Exactly. Those
yeah.
Trinity. The Trinity courses.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, that's good, and he gave me his blessings, all that. So that was how we, started talking again. But it was rough, man. It was rough.
I
But
can imagine. So from the time you got that job, your first job, you were still in school at the time, I guess.
no, I wasn't. So I did the school for like a semester. I mean, I was still a registered student, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I was chasing something else. I was chasing like the Linux stuff more than I
Hmm.
was looking at this. I call it for formal education, right? So I was
Right.
doing more of the informal one. So yeah, I I think I just didn't rate the program that they were offering.
Yeah.
I didn't rate it. I tried to go back and like do do something else there, and I still
Hmm.
didn't rate it. Yeah. So
So
because I
so
don't I
you're
don't
saying that you never like finished from that school, like the formal way of
yeah.
graduating, taking all the credits and
Yeah,
everything. You just wow.
yeah. I just left it. I've
This
had
is well,
thoughts. I've had thoughts to go back, and get a degree just for degree sake.
oh
But
my god. So but I don't know. So where do we place you now? Are you so it all feels like you've had a taste of law, nursing, and then a taste of tech in terms of schooling, but then you are here like working fully as a tech engineer. But then you have never finished any school in a formal way. That is crazy.
yeah, I just tell people I was in school for what, maybe 5 6 years. And typically, if I was going for one degree, that's the amount of time that it's gonna take me to get a degree.
Right.
So
Absolutely. That's true.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? I think I've done the school thing. So I've done the school thing. Honestly, like there was a time I needed to, get more skills, acquire more skills. I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to learn programming, and I signed up for Montgomery College. So they
Yeah.
had like a continuous education, and it was like for Python. Before I even got that, I was trying to go back to school for computer science, right?
Hmm.
And I wanted to study Python my first semester, and I kept calling different schools, and most of them were like, "Oh, we don't teach Python." We don't. Some of them would say they don't teach it in the first semester. You might do that in your fourth semester,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I'm like, no, but I wanna learn Python. I feel like I have beef with the way school is structured. I feel like school should be whatever I want to learn, I just go and learn it. I'm paying you,
Mm.
right? So why are you restricting my, I guess, my movement when it comes to learning what I want to learn?
Yeah.
So I called different schools, and none of them were actually gonna teach Python. So I looked up Montgomery College. They had like the continuous education program. It was like an evening class. I think
Mm.
there was a professor. It was actually better than UMUC,
Okay.
University of Maryland College. Yeah, because this one at least there was, a professor kind of talking to you and showing you stuff, and you could ask questions on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we did. finished the program. It was good. I don't really use Python at work. So most times with IT stuff is if you don't use it, you lose it. So
Absolutely, yeah.
it's
That's true. That's true. That's true.
yeah. Yeah, but one thing I would say from that class, I was doing another Python course on Udemy,
Mm.
and I would like 100%. The Udemy course was better than the
What they were offering you in school.
university course. Yeah, and the Udemy course was like what, ten
10,
dollars
15, yeah.
or
Sometimes
twelve
they're
dollars
$12.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I just have a problem with the way school is structured here, especially. Well, not. I mean, it's worse back home, but
Yeah, I mean,
here, it's just more of a business. I guess school here is what church is in Nigeria,
right,
right?
right. It's crazy how that's I mean, even though we've heard stories of people that like Bill Gates and some of those people, um the Facebook guy and all those other tech guys and some other people too that are successful right now in life that really abandoned school at some point. And even with all these examples that we've seen, it feels like we are still bottled up in terms of not being expressive. How much we want to be free from what and do what we want to do, aside being like in that four walls of a school where it looks like we are wasting our time. And people are really arguing right now that, well, I don't want to say school is a scam, but that's what they will say, that school is a scam. That's not the correct way to say it. But
I think
yeah,
I think education is not a scam,
yes.
but school is,
Okay, that's
right?
another argument. That's another
Because you
point to
should
argue with.
definitely get educated.
Exactly. So the,
Yeah,
the
you should
key
get
word is
educated,
education.
but
Yes.
yeah,
So, but then
yeah.
there's going to
Because
be a
I
battle,
mean,
like a battle. So now I see that maybe it wasn't easy for you, probably because of your choices and everything. Now and then you're here. It's easier when you are away from your parents, or when you're under their roof. You have to really do some things. Someone cannot just wake up in the morning, like in a regular Nigerian home, to say, well, I'm not going to school. I don't want to go to school. I want to do something for myself. They will look at you as someone that is crazy, that have gone mad. So you see, so how do we now get to a point where where our parents need to like know that every school is not even meant for everybody. That's the truth of the matter. Like, if you love school, me, I love school. God knows I do. But that's not some people don't just like school. Some people don't like school. So how do we now make our parents believe that everything doesn't end and start and end in going to the four walls of a university or whatever, right? To be able to be meaningful, to add value, to our lives. But they only see that from this lens of course, school is important. If you go to school, you get a job and all that. But those things are no longer working now. Sometimes you leave school, come out, there's no
I
job
think,
anywhere. So yeah, it's just
yeah,
curious.
it's just the way they were raised, right? I mean, it's the whole nature nurture thing. So the way they were raised, um, you have to go to school. I think everybody should go to school. I might say up until associates at least, because in associates you get to do
Yeah,
another general studies and maybe find something
right.
that interests you. In Yeah, so I think everybody should at least do that. Then for the people that find something that interests them, they can keep going. But I don't like the whole, hey, I'm trying to learn this, and they're like, oh, you have to take this, this, and this. And most times, the courses they're even trying to
Yeah,
get you to take is just so they can.
right.
They're just
Exactly. That,
fillers,
that's that's
right?
that's the word.
It's just for the school to make more
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have, I think I have an issue with that, because at the end of the day, people study computer science, and you still have to pick one thing
Yeah.
in IT to do. You're not gonna do everything.
Yeah.
It's good to know a little bit of everything, be a generalist. But sometimes it's just you kind of acquire skills
Right.
as you go,
Right.
as opposed to learn all these basic here, basic here, basic here, and at the end of the day, you go and you can't even hang with someone that's been working for a while because the job
Mm-hmm.
experience is also very different from what they're teaching you in
Honestly,
school.
I just really
So,
wish. Yeah,
but yeah, it's
exactly.
not
That's
gonna
the point.
change
It's not going to change. But I think, yeah, I mean,
for now.
I,
For now,
I would really say that the only way that people can pull out from this, maybe if you are able to have that emancipation, I would say, because when you say I don't want to do this, I want to do this, it means that you must be successful at that thing you have chosen to do to be able to prove the people that don't believe in you wrong. So if you fail in that thing you say you want to do,
yeah.
that's the problem. So I think the best way to also keep changing the narrative is by making sure, like, by showing that if we say this is what we want to do, we are good at it, and then we come out good at it, right? So because right now your dad will not doubt the fact that your choice was actually a good one, being in tech space right now. Because I mean, you're doing well, and then he's seeing the results. It's not like he's not seeing anything. At least he's seeing that, okay, this guy that left. you know.
Well, I mean, he's late. He's late,
Right.
but my
Okay.
my mom is seeing the
Apologies for that.
results, and
Yeah. So yeah.
yeah,
So you see, so that makes
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. But then tell me, I know you talked about having a lot of issues, like challenges when you got here. Was there like a like major cultural barrier? Like, of course, coming out from, you grew up in Nigeria all your life, then you came here. It was as if they dumped you in the middle of the ocean. So what was it like navigating those cultural barriers?
Actually, it was easier for me in terms of cultural barriers because I feel like America caters to introverts.
Oh my god. Dude, you
Yeah,
you are
in
just a
Nigeria,
crazy person, man.
I didn't fit in Nigeria. Like I had to. Yeah, it was easier when it. Maybe if I grew up here, right? If I was born here, grew up here, I probably would have been like a nerd. Maybe.
Yes,
Um.
you actually escaped being a nerd in
Yeah,
Nigeria. Just a little.
because Nigeria balances you out, which is good. Which is good. You get to learn a bit of both sides. But when I came here, I don't think, because it was also just my life is really it's just go to school, go to the library.
Yeah, in a triangular form.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I know,
So
I know.
when I got a job, it was a bit shaky. Um, but I tried to figure it out. You know, you could at least structure your courses for the semester. Pick
Yeah.
different days. Because one thing I like about here, you could, in school here, you can pick your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say, okay, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm doing this class. Monday, Wednesday, I'm doing this other class. And then Friday, you're off,
Yeah.
maybe catching up on assignments and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, you usually have to register your classes for your classes
Mm-hmm.
very early, so the
Yeah.
good spots can fill up. Um, but yeah, cultural barrier, it wasn't much, man. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't much.
I
Thank
know,
God.
because you were not out there to look out for anybody, to look at anybody, or to expect anything from anybody. So it was more
Yeah,
like you were in your comfort zone, right? Because even the environment itself is so individual, based off on individuals in nature. So nobody is putting eye on your matter and everything. So that was the best thing for you
yeah.
that happened. Yeah, I know. So
It
I mean,
is.
and it still is.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that.
So,
I,
but like,
yeah,
what can you tell someone, like, who, because obviously people leave like their countries wherever outside the US, they come here and then they are confused as to sometimes when you get here, you understand, you realize that what you used to know, or what you probably you had in your undergrad is not even relevant in whatever thing that you want to do here. So people get confused as to how do I even start navigating careers in terms of like what I should
Yeah.
do. And it's different because sometimes when you come here on a visa, you have some restrictions, and then except you are able to regularize all those things, then you are able to make a choice of what you really want to do. Sometimes you are forced to do what you came here to do before you are able to make a choice as to what you want to do really. So what would be your advice for someone who is in a dilemma like of trying to get fit in, maybe trying to do a career because is what is obtainable here, or what is
Hmm.
economically motivated, or whatever. Yeah. So what's gonna be your advice for such person?
So, I mean, before you come, I always tell people in Nigeria, right, if you're gonna travel, just prepare to reboot your life.
Ah, yeah, that's the word.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So if you're in level 10 in Nigeria, when you come here, you're gonna start from level 0.
Probably
And
before zero.
I feel like most people that have a lot of issues are people that are not psychologically, they're not prepared to start from
Afresh.
that level.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, but I used to do this thing. Like, so
They
yeah.
will keep living in the past. You're living in the past, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I just tell people be ready to start from 0, but just know that as time goes on, you would eventually pass that level you were at
Yeah, yeah.
when you were in Nigeria.
Right.
I think it works for most people that way. But I also came in a I came in a different way. Like coming with the lottery, you have your green card.
Yeah.
That's like
That's
that's
correct.
like the easy way of coming.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's the easy way. So I've heard stories about other people that you're you're trying to go to school, you're trying to work. Plus, I had my mom here, which
Also
even
was
though
an
we were
advantage for you.
struggling,
Yes.
having her here, yeah, it was still it was still a good thing, and I I had some advantages from that. Um, but in terms of doing doing something that is economically motivated, you have to be ready to live with that for a long
Yeah.
time. So working in the hospital, right? There were nurses. So in the hospital we used to work 12
Hmm.
hours, and I was doing night shift. So 12, I think it's six to six. Yeah, 6 to 6. Or 7 to 7, I think. Yeah, because then I had to go home. So go home, shower, maybe have like an eight
Yeah.
thirty or 9 a.m. class. Yeah. So I think it was 7 to 7. Um, we had nurses that were working with us in the hospital because we were just the
Yeah.
assistants. Even the nurses, every time that it was like their last day, they'll be like, thank God. Like they can't wait to
Yeah.
leave here. So it was just some remarks that they were making, and I'm like, these are the people that I'm supposed to be. Something else that also, I guess something else that made me really want to switch was being an being an introvert. In nursing, you have to talk a lot. You have to greet people because you have like 12, maybe 12 to 20
You're
patients
right.
that you're checking up on, and you walk into the room, greet them with a smile. you know you're doing something for them. You tell them, okay, I'm just gonna put on your socks. I'm just gonna roll you over, stuff like that. So it's like, It was so much talking, man.
Okay, so what you're saying now is that your personality played a very huge role in the career you
Yeah,
also
it
chose, right?
clashed. It's clashed. It's
Wow.
clashed.
Wow.
At some point, my mom was like, I wasn't even smiling anymore. Now the smiling part might be because I was overloaded, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm working 12 hours at night, and then I come back and just sometimes maybe get like an hour shut eye and leave for school.
man.
So I wasn't getting proper rest until maybe a weekend. And even some of those weekends I had to
Right.
work. Um yeah, I'm amongst well, I missed all that. One thing I kept doing was sometimes I work night shifts, Friday night, Saturday morning. I come back, drop my bag, go to the field, play soccer. So it's so there's this specific feeling that I
Yeah,
have, right, where I've worked 12 hours. I've been on my feet almost
yeah,
all night. So my leg muscles are a bit
yeah.
twitching. My eyes are red. I know I need sleep. But I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play soccer. It's like 2 hours. And then after soccer I come back, watch some Premier League, maybe one game or so, and then I just crash. I crash. Like I don't sleep. It's just I shut down. Yeah.
Man,
But
it's
I had
crazy.
to those times, yeah. Plus I guess the body was younger as well, so it was easier
Right.
for my
That's
body
true.
to tolerate all
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
So, what's the next thing for you? So, are you planning to finishing getting a formal degree as it were, or are you planning on still continuing on this path to
I think it was 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago I was like I, I was ready to take another step, and I was trying to get into a
Okay,
boot
okay,
camp and spoke with them. They were like, oh, we start on this date. Just go here, apply for financial aid. And towards the end, I started researching the program, and some people were like, yeah, it's not really from the school. It's this company that pays the school to use
oh
their
yeah,
name and yeah, and it wasn't a lot of good reviews. Then there was this loan they were trying to
mm,
get. I think it was close to $20,000.
okay,
I was like, okay, $20,000, shady reviews. It's not really the school teaching it. It's not gonna work for me.
mm,
So I left that. But I did another like DevOps stuff last year, early last year. Yeah, for the most part of last year, it was just work, study, work, study, work, study. I wasn't even working out, man. So yeah, for the most part of last year, I was studying a lot because I've moved from like Linux admin to Linux
okay.
engineer to site reliability
Oh,
engineer.
okay.
So yeah, now I'm doing, I guess, more
Yeah,
DevOps stuff,
yeah,
automation and all that. Yeah, so I just I usually know when I'm like feeling a bit
mm,
stagnant,
mm-hmm.
I'd say. Yeah, and then I try to look for something to add to my
That's
skill
that's
set.
really that's really good.
So
But one thing I
it's
would say is that now that, of course, the tech space is not even. I don't know if I would say that something is wrong because they keep laying people out of off from their jobs. How can so what are the skills that someone needs to learn to be able to be on the right one without losing value, for instance. So what are those skills that someone needs to acquire for someone that wants to be in tech? What are those skills that they need to acquire that will make them to keep being relevant and not be out of job in the next minute? If that has an answer.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have people that I consider to be very smart that have been laid
Right.
off. So I
So
can't.
there's no answer to that question
Yeah, I
then.
can't say there. Yeah, you can't really answer it because I feel like companies are like, especially, yeah, they're looking at the books,
Right.
right? It's like, okay, this doesn't make sense for us. It's capitalism. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
is. Um, People at the top make more money. You know, I guess I'm not very. I don't know. Well, I'm kind of doing two two things at once, which kind of helps me out a little
Yeah.
bit. But I don't know. I'm not in those rooms where they're making decisions and like,
Well, you're not there yet, but
who
it
to
doesn't mean you
keep,
not
who
get
to
there.
leave.
Small, small, you get there. Don't worry.
You know, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. That we keep growing.
Of course.
That's the essence of
So
life.
one last question I would like you to answer is this. So if your 300 level law self sees you right now, you know the person you left many years ago to come do this,
Yeah.
what would that person say to you right now? What would that person say to you?
Honestly, I don't think the person will be shocked. Because yeah, anything computers, phones, I had always been, really into it. I remember there was a day my uncle was like, I'm always on my phone, but he's never had my phone ring. And people around us, they were laughing, and I was like, yeah, you wouldn't understand. So
I can imagine.
yeah, I've always just been, yeah, I've always been like that. So instead of interacting with humans, most times I just look at the tech and interact with the tech. Um, it's good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's always
Yeah,
the
depends
ups
on
and
the
downside of it. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
yeah, because the rest of the world is not
absolutely.
like me. So yeah. But even in saying that, it's not like, I'm always it's not even like I'm a
Yeah,
workaholic. Because most times I'm like, okay, after work, I'm probably gonna watch some YouTube videos. If there's a good movie, watch it. I feel like movies are
man.
trash these
Yeah, yeah,
days,
yeah, yeah.
so
You're
it's
right,
not a
man.
lot to watch.
Yeah, man, you're right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I just watch YouTube videos for the most part. And yeah, most times I try to use half of the year to like
Yeah,
kind of relax, and then another half to level up some,
yeah.
whatever that means, level up. As long as
Yeah, that's
you're
the most
moving,
important thing. Yeah.
right? That's
Don't be stuck because I think one thing for me that has also worked
yeah.
for me in the past few years is for every job I've done, for every person I've worked for every company I've worked for, like in the past, when there's always something that makes me know that it's time for me to move to something else. I don't know what happens. I don't know. It's not like I plan it, but in me, I get, when you get to a diminishing return, when you get to a level where you are not, you feel that you are just stuck in a place and that you need to make a move, maybe you look for something else or whatever,
Yeah.
or try to move from that stage you are to something else. Yes, it happens to me every
Yeah.
time, and when it comes, I know. And the good thing is, sometimes you have a choice, at least to be able to make that move at a time. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You just have to stay where you are until that time comes. So a lot of people don't really have. So it's not it doesn't really apply when whenever you want to move, you move. Sometimes you just have to remain where you are at the time to be able to figure something out before you move to the next thing. So I just think
Yeah.
it all depends
I
on individuals and how.
You know what that's called? I think it's called adulting.
Bro.
Where you know that you have responsibilities, and if you leave without, securing something else,
Exactly. It's
it's gonna be
crazy,
tricky. Yeah. Yeah.
man.
Unfortunately. Yeah. That's why I'm like, if I could have like $10 million, bro, I'll just disappear. Like nobody's gonna see. Because at that point, I mean, I'm retired. It's just gonna be passion projects and stuff.
Honestly,
So
man. Well,
yeah,
let's see what happens. Maybe anything can happen. Let's see. I don't know. Anything is possible, man.
yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
Man, it's been nice talking to you, man. Thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate your inputs. Thank you for opening up. That's a huge
Yeah,
one, and I really appreciate your time. Of course, So I'm gonna bring you back. I'm sure I'm gonna bring you back sometime later on in the episode and the season or whatever. Yeah. So, but
yeah.
thank you,
Hopefully, it's
thank you so much for your time.